After that conversation, Asmodeus never responded to me again, and I just stopped attempting to reach him. He blocked me everywhere. I think he even blocked my emails because I was trying to reach out to him through my email because I wanted my key back because he still had the keys to my apartment. So I made many attempts to reach out to him. I did put him down as emergency contact for everything related to the baby, everything with my GYN. So they had his information, and that's who should be the emergency contact of my baby. Even if I called him from a blocked number, he did not answer. So I made the conscious decision to just stop trying. I just quit. I was like, I'm just gonna give up. Just fuck it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And it's not healthy for me, and it's not healthy for the baby. So let me just let this wound close and heal and go with my business. I will just see you in child support court in December. Baby's due November 23rd, so I have to wait until the baby's born to even submit my application to child support, but I see you in December or January at latest. I began planning the next several months for me and the boys, getting everything in place for the baby, making sure that he had everything, buying everything you can imagine a baby would need. I started looking at daycare facilities for when I got off of maternity leave. I just started focusing on myself, and I did find that after about a month of that, I was at peace. It was what it was. It was a night in May. My niece was over. My niece Mahala was over my house. It was 10:30 at night. We had just got our Chinese food. They had just delivered it, and I sat down in bed and I went to start eating my food, and I felt this big gush. Now, during pregnancy, you are going to have discharge. It's your mucus plug. Over, the next several months, you're going to have this discharge. It shouldn't be a lot, but it will increase the closer you get to your due date. This gush didn't feel like pregnancy discharge. This gush was so big that I was just like, either I'm bleeding or I just peed on myself, and I'm not big enough to just be peeing on myself by accident. So I go to the bathroom, and it's a clot, and it's a lot of blood. I started screaming, and I was crying, and I told my niece, I was like, dial 911, I think I'm losing the baby. That was the worst night. That was the worst night I've had of this entire year. That was worse than everything else. I was terrified, and all I could think in my mind was, that man stressed me to death, and it took a toll on my body, and it eventually caught up to me. And my body did this to my baby. I was hysterical. I remember I grabbed a pad. The paramedics came. They put me in the ambulance. They put me on a towel. They locked me all in. We went to the hospital. The entire ride, I was just like, you know what, honestly, Connie, panicking and stressing right now is not going to make anything better or worse. So you might as well just calm down, because whatever it is at this moment. And I was like, if I am losing my son right now, because by that time I knew he was a boy. If I'm losing my son right now, there's nothing that I can do to save him. So, we got to the hospital. I wasn't in any pain, which is the good part. I didn't feel any pain, but it's really hard to rationalize and really sit and think about what you feel and what you don't feel in a moment like that, because you are panicking. And even when people tell you to calm down, it's not like you can just calm down. Like, you're panicking, you're afraid. So I got there, and the very first thing that they did was my ultrasound. That was the first thing they did, was my ultrasound. And when they did my ultrasound, he was in there swinging his arms around. And I was so happy, like, to see him. I was so happy to see him just swinging his arms around. And she was like, the doctor was like, he is so active for someone so small. He's just so active. And the weight on my chest was just lifted, and I felt so much better, because I felt like at that moment when I was afraid and worried that I was losing him, I was just like, Asmodeus won. He won. I didn't, like, with the abandonment, with him blocking me and ghosting me as if I was not his girlfriend, we didn't even break up. The man just disappeared. He didn't even have like a formal conversation. He disappeared. He never said, hey, by the way, if you keep that baby, we're breaking up, I'm not gonna be with you. He showed me. He showed that to me. I was devastated when it took place. It was easy for me to focus on everything else that I had going on, because I had everything else going on. I had enough to keep me, preoccupied, to not, put my focus centered around that man. But I do know, like, just naturally, even though I was cool, I was okay every day, I was doing what I needed to do, I'm still going to work, I'm still paying my bills, I'm still taking care of my kids, I'm still taking care of myself, I'm good. I know that internally I still was having symptoms that I probably was overlooking the existence of because of the abandonment. I knew that. Like, I knew that. But I tried my best to not feed into them when they did happen. Because there was definitely times where I would just sit here and reminisce, like, I can't believe that nigga really just sat up here and fucking ghosted me, blocked me, and disappeared like I never existed. Like, that man didn't even break up with me. He just fucking ran off. It was the way that he left that always stuck in my head. And I was telling, like, my family, my friends, my sisters, and I was just like, something's not right here. Because why would you ghost me? You blocked me and ghosted me. This man ghosted me like he has a wife somewhere. And in the final text messages that we did exchange, I was just like, well, tell your wife I said hi, tell your girlfriend I said hi. Because I'm just sitting here like, the way you acting, the way that you're reacting, there's just no way you can tell me that there isn't somebody somewhere, because this is not the reaction that a 43-year-old man should be having to a situation that he was complicit and completely a part of. You are a grown-ass man. You've handled this so poorly. So poorly. What is the deal, babe? What's the deal? Like, why? Like, come on, honey. Like, you just treated me like I was some $2 hoe and we were just sleeping around together or something. So that always, like, stayed in my mind for a pretty long time.